Good afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures, and this is the FX Rundown. This week is all about the Federal Reserve, and they conclude a two-day policy meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time. We'll get the economic projections, a policy statement, and Fed Chair Powell's press conference at 1:30. But we did say to start the week off, do not overlook the Eurozone meetings. This is a three-day meeting. It's annually. We see Mario Draghi with a lot of comments. Today, he said that the ECB should loosen policy if inflation doesn't stabilize. Yeah, the euro went lower, but it's been trending lower, and it's not lower by a lot here today, but because everybody's really waiting on the Fed. And there is a chance the Fed does cut tomorrow. Only a 22% probability as of right now. However, by July 31st, they are expected with an 85% probability to cut rates. So in this policy statement, if we just get another patience from them, that's not going to be enough to satisfy the markets. You're going to see the dollar rally strongly higher. And then you'll see the euro likely trade down to new lows in the year. And I'm talking about the front month lows, not the September contract lows. Because again, we are seeing a rate cut be priced in. Maybe not tomorrow, but they need to signal and telegraph that they're going to cut rates by the end of July or the market's not going to be satisfied. The equity market is pricing in that rate cut as well as we trade higher today. Mario Draghi lit a fire under equity markets because the ECB is now going to cut rates. They're pricing in a potential 10 basis point cut by the end of December. So this is big risk on because the Fed and central banks are manufacturing growth by loosening policy. But again, the currency markets are already pricing this in, and if we do not get the Fed telegraphing the rate cut, we're going to see the dollar rally strongly higher. If they do cut tomorrow, that's the only way we really see the dollar to weaken and the euro strengthen if they surprise cut tomorrow. So watch the levels. The euro is trading below first key support we talked about on the FX Rundown yesterday. We have major three-star support well below the market, so keep an eye on that. And then to the upside, really the euro is only going to break out if it gets a construction out above that 100-day moving average, in which it failed at last week on that June to September roll, and there's a trend line going back to the September of last year. It needs to close out above. We talked about it all last night on the FX Rundown written report, so keep an eye on that. Now another contract, the yen, that roll from June to September as well, hurt the price action, and we're right back at that 92.85 mark. This was major three-star resistance in the June, and we said we're going to keep it there because the market ultimately struggled to hold out above there on that roll. So we have that resistance, and we have another level out above there, about 93.25. Watch those resistance levels. If the equity market continues to rally and the dollar does not weaken, the yen is not going to find a way to rally higher. So you either need the dollar index to weaken because the Fed surprise cut tomorrow, or the equity markets to really fall apart in order for the yen to rally out above here. That's the only way we see value in the yen at this level. And then looking at the commodity currencies, the Aussie dollar, we're seeing it stabilize a bit from very, very low level. This is really looking back, the low that was a spike low early January, and then going back to 2016, this was the bottom. If we stay below about 68.5 to 69, you're going to see continued pressure on this market. Right now we're stabilizing right in the middle of there. The RBA minutes last night telegraphed that they could cut again, and we wouldn't be surprised if the trade war continues to worsen. Remember, China is Australia's #1 trade partner. And then for the Canadian dollar, we're seeing it consolidate. It's very bad tape looking back to the end of last week. The data has not been very good, but the dollar index has strengthened, although we're talking about a rate cut. So it's the U.S. dollar that's powering higher and really just putting pressure on the other currencies. Another one too is the British pound. Out of Canada tomorrow and out of the UK tomorrow, we have CPI data that should be watched very closely. It's one thing that could stabilize these two currencies outside of tomorrow's Fed meeting. So watch that. Give us a call. We're here to talk about anything on the board. 312-278-0500. You can email us at info@bluelinefutures.com. Check our website for updates, and you can sign up for a free trial of our research there. But remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss. It's not suitable for all investors. Thanks a lot.